largely with the point?
Yeah, very much so. I think they're a very good side. They're a team that's come down from the Premier League last year. Got some top players. So to come here and get a point, I thought it was a fully deserved point, to be honest. It's great, especially off the back of a win against Swansea. Swansea took a lot out of us at home because they're obviously a very good possession-based football team. So we did a lot of running around at Swansea. Obviously the EFL being the EFL, then asked us just to travel 3.5 hours up to Norwich on a night time, which is not great. And then obviously they want us to then go up to West Brom on Sunday. So obviously I'm not sure what their game is, but we just stick together and we just keep grinding results out, and that's all we can do.
4 points from those 2 games is a good return, isn't it?
It's a great return. It's a great return. I keep on about we're miles away from where we want to be as a team, but there's something special about this group of players. And if I'd said Swansea, Norwich away, West Brom away, would pick up 4 points, you'd be happy with that return. So now we go up to West Brom, we're playing well at the moment. So yeah, listen, I thought the lads were excellent today, really were.
Norwich's front line are obviously difficult to play against at the best of times. It's only 2 goals that you've conceded across 180 minutes against them. What do you put that down to?
Well, that was the organisation. Obviously, I think when you think about it today, I think Naby Starr's been out for 3 months. Tom Mack's been out for 6 weeks. And they're kind of playing in that defensive system. So they will get stronger, they will get better. And we still managed, as you say, Mike, to keep them down to 2 goals in 2 games. And Puka's a wonderful player. He's got his runs, and they're hard to deal with. And at times we kind of struggled at in the first half, especially the first 10-15 minutes. They came out hot, Norwich. But you expect that. They've just lost a manager. Which is a sad thing to see. And I've said what I think about that. So I said to the players, listen, the crowd are going to be up for it. There's going to be response, and if we just keep them quiet for the first 15 minutes, then we'll be okay. And obviously Puka had a chance which Joe saved, but then after that, as he got near to the first half, you could hear the crowd getting moaning and whinging and getting apprehensive, and that was half our job done. And that's not credit to the players, but it was a case about can we sustain that in the second half. And unfortunately, we give a goal away. Sargent should be winning the header for 1, and it's a great finish by Ida, but we don't cover around. So there's a lot of things that we've talked about this week that we haven't done that's cost us a goal. And then as a manager, we're just thinking, just stay in the game. And to be fair, after that, we was all over them, especially down the right hand side with Chant. Lucas should have scored, and Yak. So this is what these players would do. As I say, we're not the best players in the league. We're not the best team in the league, but they fight for each other. They fight for each other, and that's what we saw today.
You went for Jowl and Carroll up top today. What was the sort of thinking behind that?
Well, I just think sometimes, you've got to think about Yak. He's not at the level where he can play 3 games. 3 games in 6 days is a lot for anybody, especially the workload we're putting in. So to ask those, same people to play, 3 games in 6 days, it's not impossible. AC's played obviously again today, so how he's going to come out tomorrow, I'm not too sure. But it's good when you've got 4 strikers who can mix a match. So yeah, listen, I thought with Lucas, he's always got a goal in him. I said to him, you need to be, I don't want to be picking my team and not you in it. You know what I mean? And we've got 4 strikers who could say, I want to make sure I'm number 1, and at the moment that's not the case. So it gives me a decision to make every game. But I thought AC was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Someone, I keep telling his age, but he's only 33, I think. But his work rate, back and forth, the penalty, everything about him, he just frightens the life out of people. And I think as any striker, any young striker, any striker, if you want to see what a striker does, watch that performance today. Because he had everything to it. Sometimes he was in a left back situation, and he was centre half, and he was running up the park, he was holding it up. He was unreal today, unreal.
You must be happy with the impact of yourself when Yaki was right and Nesta was inspired down that left. I mean, he had the beating of him.
Well, I actually felt enough, you kind of feel sorry for Nesta. But it was funny today because we looked at the bench and, Femi obviously didn't make the 18. But I was kind of thinking, well, there's no point having two wing backs, you know, with Nesta and Baba and Tommy Mack can play there. And I was that close to saying, you know, Nesta, and I thought no, because I think attacking wise, he's their best wing back. And to be fair to Nesta, he's been great in training. He's been frustrated because he's not been playing. But like most players are, they do get frustrated. But his training, you know, he's been unreal. He's always said to me, Gaffer, look at me, you know what I mean? I want to be in the side, and that's what you want. As players who are not playing, you want to say, look, I want to be in the side, and he's done that since he's been here. So I'm really pleased for him, and I'm glad we managed to nick a point out of it.
Paul, before the game, there was a nice tribute to Pele.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you what your memories are of the great man.
But to be fair, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed because I never really saw him at the time. You know, when they won the World Cup in 1970. You know, I was only 3. You know, but listen, all I know is that when you kind of talk about great players, we use that word great too often sometimes in today's football, but you know, he was a god, wasn't he? He was a god, and to be at one club, you know what I mean, to score the goals that he did, to win 3 World Cups, you know, competing 4, you know, and I remember that when you think of Pele, I always think of Gordon Banks. You know, that's what I do. You know, I think of Pele, Gordon Banks, you know, with a header. That's got to be the most iconic moment of football. And listen, you know, the younger generation probably won't know how great Pele was, you know, but they will now because everyone's going to talk about who's this Pele bloke, and you know, he's gone up to heaven now, and you know, I'm sure he'll be taken over from God up there. But listen, he'll be sadly missed. He'll really be sadly missed. But he's one of the greats, and we're always going to have this debate. You know, who's the greatest of all time? Is it Pele? Is it Maradona? Is it Messi? Is it Ronaldo? It's always one of those questions, and you know, for me, Pele was the greatest of all time.
Is Hutchinson nearing return possibly for West Brom, or is that still too soon?
It's too soon, Jimmy. It's too soon. I think what we understand, because people are actually training and not actually going to be ready to play, you know. And I said I'm pleased that Liam Moore got 45 minutes today against West Ham. That was good.
What was the score?
I don't know. It was 1-1 when it came off. So the most important thing is it wasn't the score. It was the fact that Liam Moore played 45 with any no issues, which is really important to me. So Hutch should be back on the training ground after West Brom. But listen, I'm really looking forward to the next game now. Really am, because then after that we've got 2 weeks before we play. I know we've got the FA Cup game, but then we've got 2 weeks where we can have a break and rest a few players. But I'm proud of the lads. They were out on their feet at times. You're playing against 2 possession-based teams who keep the ball very well. We have to be organised, and you know, and they've done it like in space for 4 or 5 days. So credit to the players, credit to the fans for travelling, full house, a long way to come. You know what I mean? So it's nice that they managed to go back down the motorway, you know, with a point.
Last one here, please.
Well, just quickly, there's a feeling amongst Norwich that it wasn't a penalty and that your player's been clever and bought it. What's your view on that?
Well, listen, it's one of them, you know what I mean? I haven't seen it, but all I'm saying at the end of the day, of course, there's going to be feelings because they weren't winning 1-0. You know, if it had been the other way round, I'm sure they would have said it was a penalty. But I thought we should have had penalty with Lucas in the first half when he nicks it off. So, listen, it's one of those, you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, a point's a fair result. You look, as a manager, you look at all these things, you say, well, that could have been a foul, that should have been a penalty, that should have been this. The referee's in a great spot. You know, for me, it's a foul.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice New Year, guys.
Cheers.